Okay, hello YouTube people. Today I'm here to play the new blue-black hotness deck. So I saw a lot of lists regarding Abhorrent Oculus, so I wanted to try it myself. And I started by seeing Gabriel Nassif's list, who was playing something similar to this list. I think it's probably the most reasonable list I saw. I personally don't think playing too many nerds and playing too many Oculus in your blue black build is good, like on a long like in many games. I think of course you can eye roll a couple of games, but in general I don't think those cards are super powerful. So I think I just minimize the angle of the unfair angle and just play the stock list, minimizing these effects that are still powerful, but less clunky, hopefully. And I'm also playing Tamillo. I think Tamillo is quite good when you play Unearthed, and in general, I think you want Tamillo because Abhorrent Oculus is less is more fragile than Murktide. So if Tamillo gets removed, it's less likely that Abhorrent Oculus gets removed because of course they both die to push, they both die to Galvanic Discharge. And I also think that you probably want Tamillo for the late game plan because I consider this Psychic Frog is a good early game threat. Oculus is a good mid game card, same for Murktide, but Tamillo should help you developing games when like in top deck mode. I'm very curious to try. I think there are a lot of experimental takes in this list, and I'm willing to try to play a league right now if to see if my ideas are right or wrong. And in the sideboard, I'm playing two Harbinger of the Seas. Many of you maybe know that I'm not a fan of this card in the sideboard, but I just wanted to test it once again because I think the card solves some problems in some matchups, and I'm playing those alongside for Consign to Memory, mostly for Eldrazi, but this card can also be decent versus control ring decks. Then I'm playing quite a heavy sideboard for red-white, so I'm playing 4 Wrath effects. I think 4 is where you want to be honest. And I'm also playing like Charm, Pierce, a lot of counter spells to have an edge versus ring, because I think a lot of games you solve the early game and then you lose to ring, so I'm adding a couple more counter spells. And I kind of want to remove the Force of Negation, just because Force of Negation fits a weird 2-for-1 in the early game, and they can usually solve your creature anyway, because usually Force of Negation a removal spell, and then the card loss is real versus Boros. I think like a basic misconception about Boros is it's an aggro deck. I think it's rather a mid-range deck, so I don't think Force is good versus mid-range, and you can have a couple more counter spells for the rings. And I also think Oculus might be decent versus Boros, as it's a good way to switch board presence. I'm not sure. Like, I'm up to test. And then I'm playing One Ghost Vacuum. I think this card is a very good graveyard 8 card. Basically, is a Relic of Progenitus that but you decide what to exile, and then at 6 you play everything that you exiled, and it's been a win con in some games I played. So I think the rest is quite stock. I'm not playing any Preordain. I'm playing 2 Scour and 4 Consider, of course, to maximize the possibility of having a big graveyard early game. I'm playing still 1 Cling to Dust. I just think this card is valuable when you play Scour, and this card is valuable in general as it exile Flage. Like it's a good grindy tool in mirror. Also, it sometimes is good paired with Murktide. and I'm playing one Shoot the Sheriff. I wish I could play a second copy of this card, but there isn't much space, so I want to try the one-offs before, and then we can iterate from there. So this is the deck tech, and I'm super curious to see how the leaks will go. So stay tuned to see like the actual games.